What's going on, everybody? It's Key Time coming back with another one to talk about the Eastern Conference champion Boston Celtics and Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. So, the Eastern Conference champion is set and they are already in the finals. So, last night with the Boston Celtics and Indiana Pacers, we all know what the stakes were. I noticed that Indiana, they have a great team, but last night, and it played them throughout this series, they had trouble keeping the lead in the last 3 to 4 minutes of the game. So like when they were up by 9 with under 4 minutes left, TJ McConnell, he brings the ball up the floor, gets all the way to the basket, and it was a missed layup. So that was a 5-point swing right there. So instead of it being an 11-point lead, now it's a 6-point deficit for the Boston Celtics. So I knew after that happened that Indiana, they would have trouble. But they already had trouble coming into the game because Tyrese Halliburton wasn't able to play. So what does the Indiana Pacers need to do in the offseason? What they need to do in the offseason is go out there and get them another legit scorer, another player that can find their shot when it's a time of need. Because last night, you can only get so far with your secondary players and bench players. Now, Pascal Siakam, he had a good game last night. He had 19. Aaron Naismith had 14. Andrew Nahar had 24. Obi Toppin had 12 points. And TJ McConnell had 15 points. With all of that, they were able to keep the team afloat, but with the Celtics and with the efficiency that they were shooting with, it was too much in the end. Jaylen Brown had 29 points. Jason Tatum had 26 points. Derek White, I said that Derek White would be an X factor in this series. He won the game for the Celtics last night because when it was tied at 102 with under 30 seconds left, I'm watching the game. I'm saying to myself, I'm like, somebody going to have to make a play. And I said it's going to be somebody outside of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that's going to make the play. So Tatum passes it out to Derek White, and Derek White hit the game-winning 3. Ultimately, the game-winning 3. So Derek White, he was an X factor. Drew Holiday was an X factor. He had 17 points last night. So all of the X factors that I predicted in this series, they came through last night because what the Celtics came in saying is that last year this series before last night they were up 3-0. Last year they were down 3-0 to the Miami Heat and forced a Game 7. So they did not want to let any type of momentum, hope, or whatever you want to call it, mojo, get to the Indiana Pacers and extend the series. And that is why they are the Eastern Conference champions. And another thing, somebody asked me this question last night about, did the Boston Celtics have an easy road to the finals? You can only play who's on your schedule. Cleveland, they was a good team. Miami was a good team, and Indiana was a good team. I mean, all of those teams were in the top 5 as far as record-wise in the Eastern Conference. So, Boston, like I said, at the start of the season, I projected them to get to the finals, to the NBA Finals. Now they are in the NBA Finals. Now we will just wait and see who is the winner of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks, which leads into my next series, the Minnesota Timberwolves and Dallas Mavericks. So, Dallas Mavericks are up 3-0. They can go on ahead and sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. One thing I want to say about Minnesota, this is a learning experience. We didn't project them to make it this far, this soon. Last year, they lost to the eventual champion in the Denver Nuggets. This year, they beat the Denver Nuggets. As of right now, currently, they're down 3-0. Do I think that they are going to come back? No, because teams who have took a 3-0 lead or down 3-0 in a series in NBA history are 155-0. So, basically, this series is over. You got Dallas, Luka Doncic, and Kyrie Irving who are in sync. They basically they pick and choose they pick and choose who is going to shoot. Kyrie Irving, he is a facilitator at the start of the game, and then in the fourth quarter, he takes it over. Now, as far as Minnesota, I don't know what else you have to do. Do you have to change your lineups? You're going to have to change your lineups because you cannot go into Game 4, which is tonight, with the same lineup because Anthony Edwards needs help. Karl Anthony Towns, he has been in a shooting slump. 4 of 32 in the last 5 games from the 3-point line, and plus on jump shots in this series alone, 3 of 22. So he has been very inconsistent. And basically Minnesota, they have been out in late game situations. Really, Minnesota, this series should be even, or it should be 2-1 Minnesota, because Game 1, Minnesota had a chance to win. Game 2, if it wasn't for Luka making that last second game-winning 3, we are basically having a different type of conversation when it comes to the Western Conference Finals. But you have a young and inexperienced team playing against a team that has been in this situation before, because 2 years ago, Dallas was in this situation playing against the Warriors, had a chance to take a series lead, take control of the series, but they messed up, and we all know what happened. Golden State went on to win the NBA championship there. So, if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, tonight, I'm not messing around. I'm coming out in the first quarter, setting the tone early, getting up by 10, 15 points, and I know that the Timberwolves are going to have a fierce rally, but one thing that has hurt the Timberwolves is they have size in the paint. They just don't know what to do with it. And what I mean by that, I'm going to talk about this player, and I mentioned him earlier in this show, Karl Anthony Towns. He is almost the tallest player out there. Dallas, they don't have any big guys. Derek Lively II is the tallest guy on the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I don't know if he's playing or not. I don't know if he's playing tonight or not. But if he is not playing, Karl Anthony Towns, he needs to go in the paint, pack it in the paint. That is where the Minnesota Timberwolves, if they lose tonight, that's where they lost this series. In the paint points, because the Dallas Mavericks, they have the advantage over them in the paint throughout this series. The Dallas Mavericks have the advantage over the Minnesota Timberwolves in free throw disparity, three-point attempts, and 3-point makes. So the Dallas Mavericks, they have really had the advantage throughout the entirety of this series, all across the board. Minnesota, they had chances to win all 3 games. This really could be Minnesota 3-0 instead of Dallas 3-0. But when you have a young team, young and inexperienced team that hasn't been there before, that I'm not gonna say that doesn't know what to do in those last few minutes when it's pressure packed and you have to get a score, or else Minnesota, they are not experienced for that. They are not groomed for that. Dallas, like I said, the last couple of years, Dallas, they've had series like this. So all in all, I think the Dallas Mavericks, they are going to sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota, what they should do as far as the offseason, they need to get better They need to get better and build more players around Anthony Edwards. Because Anthony Edwards can go and get his shot. Karl Anthony Towns, I don't know what has happened to him. He has been in a shooting slump. He's so far in this shooting slump, he's not going to be able to knock the rust off. So Dallas, they are gonna sweep the Timberwolves tonight. And as far as the finals, I will give y'all my prediction within the next week and a half. But I'm gonna give y'all my prediction before game 1 of the NBA Finals. So the Dallas Mavericks, they have a chance at sweeping the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. I believe that they are going to sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves. And with that is my reaction from the Eastern Conference Finals champion Boston Celtics, and my outlook on tonight's Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, content, and etc. And as I always say, I always leave y'all with this. Remember, the key is always on time.